All right, hi everyone. I am going to do this video to show you how to work on your homework for section 8.2.2, which is again calculating confidence intervals for the mean when the population standard deviation is known. Difference between this 8.2.2 and 8.2.1 is that in this homework, what you have is data sets instead of information from your sample and the standard deviation. And so when we go to RGuroo and we go to analytics and we open up that from the drop-down menu here and we go to the mean inverse for one population, you have two options in here. Option number one is to fill this out, to fill the sample mean, the population standard deviation, or the sample standard deviation in the case we don't know the population standard deviation, and the sample size, label the variable, and then click our method to be statistic changing our confidence level. The other option is to select a data set, which is what we are going to be doing in here. So here we have a data that represents a random sample for the ages of 41 players in the baseball league. So we have 41 numbers in this column in here. We're going to assume that the population is normally distributed with a standard deviation of 2.1 years. So this is the standard deviation of the population. We're going to use RGuroo to find 98% confidence interval for the true mean age of players in this league, and we're going to round to 3 decimal places. So we need to download the CSV. So we download the CSV file. This is going to be saved to my downloads folder. I go here to data first because we need to import the data set. So we are going to import data set in here, and we have done this before. We choose the file from the from our downloads folder, and so I had in there. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to call this H in baseball, just in case I have another one that it's has the same name, and I'm going to upload that. So when you upload that, you have a summary. Again, we don't need this, right? So we go back here and we're going to talk about this. So I'm going to select that data set that I just uploaded, which is down here, H baseball. All right. So because we have a data set, the RGuroo is going to take care of calculating the sample mean, calculating the sample standard deviation, and calculating the sample size. We just need to let RGuroo know what the population standard deviation is. And so the standard deviation of the population is 2.1 given to us in here. So 2.1. We are going to label this H because we need a label for that. Otherwise, you will get an error. So if you get an error, it's because you haven't typed anything in here. We're asked to find a 98% confidence interval, so make sure that you change this. And again, every time you know the population standard deviation, our method is going to be a statistic. All right, so once we have all that, we click in here. All right, let's see what happened. We have age. Oh, we need to select our variable. So there we go. So we selected the data set H baseball. It only has one variable, so I thought it was just going to take it. So we have to go to the drop-down menu, select our variable. So the variable is H, and you see how everything in the gray gets populated. Sample mean is 28.3. The standard deviation for the sample is 3.4. We have a sample size of 41, which actually match what it's given to us in the problem. Again, I type the standard deviation of the population, which is given to us. This is known from previous information. 98% interval, and then with the Z statistic. So now if we hit here, we should get it. All right. Again, remember that here you have the lower bound for your confidence interval, your upper bound for the confidence interval. So if I go back here, I need to round to 3 decimal places. So then I go 27.579. And the other one is going to be 29.104. All right, again, 27.578 rounded, that's a 9. 29.104, that's the confidence interval that we're looking for. And we click submit, we found our confidence interval. All right, so let's work on a couple more. So then now we have scores of bowlers in a particular league. We are given that it follows a normal distribution, such that the standard deviation of the population is 12. All right. So I'm going to leave this in here, and I'm going to open a new one. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to download the CVS, and I'm going to import this data set. So again, I go here, I choose it. I am going to change the name so it's easy for me to find it in my list. There we go. We don't do this. So I'm going to close it. So again, I am going to analytics, drop down menu, mean inference, one population. I'm going to choose my data set from here, which is in the bottom, score bowlers. Again, my variable is the score, which is this one in here. So I have 40. So here we want to find the 95% confidence interval of the mean score of all bowlers in this league using the data set of 40 random scores. And we are rounding to 2 decimal places. So we have everything. The sample mean is 94.5. The sample size is 40. This is information that was given to us in 8.2.1, and we had to type it in. In here, we upload our data set, and RGuroo calculates that for us. The only thing that we need to give RGuroo is the population standard deviation, and it's given to us right here as 12. So I'm going to write 12 in here. Make sure this is a 95 is what we need to find out. And then again, our method is going to be a z-statistic because we do know the standard deviation of the population. And then we hit the blue eye and we have our interval. So interval is 90.78. All right, I'm just copy and paste. It's a 1 after that, so rounding is fine. And then the next one is a 98.21. And then if we round, that 1 should become a 2 because of the 8 that we have afterwards. All right. And again, I'm just following here to round to 2 decimal places. We submit. We have our confidence interval. All right. One more. So we have monthly incomes from a random sample of 20 workers in a factory. We're going to assume that the population has a normal distribution and has a standard deviation of $518. We are going to compute a 98% confidence interval for the mean of the population, and we are going to round to the nearest dollar. So again, we download the CSV. Then we go here and we import this data set. We choose the file from here. Again, I'm changing this name so I can find it. Monthly income, we hit upload. We don't need the summary, so I'm just going to close that. And we go to analytics, analysis, mean inference, one population. So we have this back again. We are going to select that data set from down here. I am going to choose my variable. So I have the sample mean, the sample standard deviation, and the sample size. In the event that we don't know the standard deviation of the population, which is the next section, the algorithm is going to use the sample standard deviation, and we need to change our method. So I'm going to talk about that in the next video, but then we're going to change this to a 98% confidence interval. Population standard deviation is $518 given to us in here. All right, make sure that we label this, change the confidence interval and select our method. And we click the blue eye, and this is what we got. So again, it's a whole, so I'm going to copy and paste this. This is the lower bound. Because it's a 0.9 at the end, I'm going to change this to a 3, and that's just a rounding. And for the other one, I'm going to change this one with a 2 because it's a 0.9 and we're rounding to the nearest dollar. And that should be it. All right. So now, if I'm going to use this example right here and end this video talking about what do we do if this is a test and we need to submit our evidence. So you have everything in here. I will suggest that you save this. So you can save this as, what was this? This was age. So we save it. This one is score. So we save it. And this one is income. And we save it. That way, if you accidentally close RGuroo, everything is going to be saved in here for you. All right. And so what I always ask you to do is to show me that what you got is correct. If you can show both things, that's going to be awesome because I can see what you did. Sometimes the method might be incorrect. Another occasion, it might be that you forgot to change the confidence interval. So what you can do is you can just clip this in here, save it to your downloads, and then paste that on a Word document, right? But this is 8.2.2. Again, if you have any question, just please email me.